1976. Martin Scorsese, 1942. NYU Film School graduate, will direct Mean Streets in 1973. Brian De Palma, 1940, begins modestly with the offbeat Greetings and Hi Mom, and goes on to Carrie in 1976. John Milius, 1944, the tough guy of the bunch, will bring a modern intensity to action pictures. Anxious studio czars still stuck in a post-war era of censorship and high-gloss stars are shaken by movies like Easy Rider, Bonnie and Clyde, The Graduate. They continue to make old-fashioned family pictures and win Oscars for movies like In the Heat of the Night and Oliver. But movies are becoming less waspy glamorous, more ethnic. Without confronting the war or the Kennedy assassination directly, the new films are seeded by that era's themes of guilt, pessimism, futility. The aesthetic is grittier, the stories often bleak or open-ended, a radical departure from the old narrative playbooks. The guys, yes, they were all guys, responsible for those game-changing films, are in love with the Nouvelle Vague, Fellini, and Antonioni. Movies of the 60s like Faces, Easy Rider, and Dr. Strangelove, and Robert Altman's 1970 MASH have made the world safe for a new kind of studio-financed independent film. The new guys' collective euphoria will prove to be a medium moment rather than a changing of the guard, a rejuvenation rather than a revolution. Hollywood's taste for personal directors will fade after a couple of folies de grandeur like Apocalypse Now and Michael Cimino's Heaven's Gate. 2 squares from suburbia would bring Hollywood back to its comfort zone. Of course, neat divisions between hip and square, one era and another, are journalistic conveniences that conceal as much as they reveal. No less an oversimplification than the notion of a strict separation between Hollywood and independent cinema. The Monkees were as much a part of the 60s as Bob Dylan. Nevertheless, the 2 new Hollywoods are present on that beach, though they don't quite know it at the time. What they all have in common, along with directorial ambition, is that movies are their language, their grammar, their poetry. Their heads are filled with camera movements rather than words. They're high on the movies they will make, and their excitement is echoed by a seriousness about American films among a new breed of critics, writing in the underground and alternate weeklies, gradually migrating to the mainstream press. Unlike the others, Steven started out not as a movie buff, but a child of television. He didn't read film books or seek out revivals. His apprenticeship was strictly hands-on with a movie camera, and then, when he did begin gorging on Hollywood cinema, it was the craftsmen and the epic filmmakers to whom he was drawn. While De Palma and Scorsese, at least for the moment, are thinking small, homages to Fellini and Hitchcock, Steven imagines widescreen epics, like David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia, or, the picture that enthralled him as a child, Cecil B. DeMille's The Greatest Show on Earth. His mentor idols are not the auteurs, but journeymen like Victor Fleming and borderline auteur Michael Curtiz. While the others were cultivating their outsider status as artist movie-makers with personal visions, Spielberg, with his complex, mostly subterranean relationship with his Jewishness, wanted only to fit in. His father was a workaholic, in whose absence he had grown up in a house of free-range females, an artistically inclined permissive mother, and 3 high-spirited younger sisters. Even the dog, he once complained, was female. Another common thread is the male-oriented cinema, to which both the edgy and the more conventional upstarts will gravitate. These 20 and 30-somethings have grown up in the flight path of 2 of the greatest upheavals in history, feminism and the technological revolution. In mere seconds of evolutionary time, women had gone from winning the vote to running for office, and computers had evolved from servants to masters. Whether expressed in science fiction fantasies or toga parties, cartoon heroes or super macho action movies, male anxiety lurks ever closer to the surface. Unlike the more romantic or erotically driven cinema of path-breaking elders like Woody Allen, Paul Mazursky, John Cassavetes, Robert Altman, Arthur Penn, lovers and likers of women, these newcomers were all, in different ways, in flight from women. In the film industry, the sense of threat, from women on the one hand, and from machines and artificial intelligence on the other, will form a leitmotif that runs